Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to our spotlight session. Today, I'm going to be going over basically some useful AI systems, right? So, a lot of people still are using AI just like it's Google, right? Where we're just going on and we're just asking it, this simple question of, hey, rewrite this email for me. Hey, I need to do some market research. Hey, look up this property for me, kind of situation. And what tends to happen is that you just get that, and that's it. You don't get, sorry guys, you don't get any other form of output out of it, right? It doesn't do anything or isn't set up for you automatically. So what you want to do is to begin to start using AI to build systems, right? What time will we be meeting and location? What? I don't know who that is. Okay. But you want to start using it to create systems for yourself, right? So that it can start doing things for you. So let me show you what I mean. Let me share my screen. Screen, start. Okay. Now let's go. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
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 Cool. Okay. So today I want to show you what it looks like when you create systems within ChatGPT, for example. I use ChatGPT almost every single day. To me, it's the best AI platform just based off what it can do. But then you also have Claude, which is also really amazing at some of the things it can do. Gemini kind of, makes great videos. Perplexity does good research. But for overall, my AI dashboard, I should say, starts in ChatGPT. So, um, let me introduce you to my system. So, I'm going to give it a prompt. So, these are my systems that I built inside ChatGPT, and they all do something different. Okay, but they all align to what helps me in my own business, right? Which is to say that, hold on, which is to say um, that, you can do these same things without being so tech savvy, without doing anything at all. So let me introduce you to my team real fast. They're called the Commission, right? They're AI systems that specialize intelligence, and they all have one mission, which is to help me. Okay, so let's start with Atlas. Atlas is my overseer. Atlas maintains my full view of my business, right? By the way, they created this. I did not. I didn't build any of this. They created this for themselves. All I did was, hey, make it superhero themed. And that's what they did. So when ideas compete for attention, Atlas can determine what deserves focus, what becomes a distraction. His responsibility is alignment, making sure every member of my team is moving me toward the same destination. And he doesn't just help me find the next move, he makes sure it's the right move. Okay. Then I have G, which is my strategic partner, my operational command center and closest collaborator inside the system. He helps me think through decisions, solve problems, coordinate with the commission, and turn unfinished ideas into practical action. He understands the business we're building, the standards we've established, and the person behind the mission. When I say let's get to work, he makes sure the entire system knows what that means. Okay. Then I have Shark G. Shark G actually was created based off of, if you guys watch Shark Tank, was based off of Mr. Wonderful. I wanted something that was going to scrutinize everything that I did and give me negatives and then turn those into positives, right? What is wrong with my follow-up system? What's wrong with my lead generation activities, right? What's wrong with my listing presentation? And Shark G will then tell me, well, hey, I wouldn't invest in that because you're not doing XYZ, right? So his job is to tell me that every idea isn't to tell me that every idea is great. His job is to determine whether it's valuable, differentiated, executable, or executable, I should say, and worth investing time or money into. Okay. He pressure tested, he does the systems, does a lot. Okay. Then I created Tron, right? I love the movie Tron, one of my favorite movies growing up. So I created Tron as my guardian. And what he does is he protects my vision overall, over Atlas, over G, over Shark G, over everyone. He protects what I'm working for, right? He protects my mission. His responsibility is simple: protect the mission, preserve the standard, keep next level grounded, right? That's what we're building. Scribe is the architect of record. So ideas disappear when they aren't captured, organized, and transformed into usable assets, right? So Scribe will turn conversations into scripts, guides, reports, presentations, templates, and client-ready documents. And Scribe can ensure that, my knowledge doesn't remain trapped inside a conversation. She gives it structure, permanence, and the ability to be used again. Bridge is my implementation engineer who just works based on strategy alone, right? Execution lives on the other. I connect them. So he connects and transforms plans into workflows, operating procedures, handoffs, and repeatable systems that I can use over and over and over again, which I'm going to show you a couple of those. Okay. Spark is my creative force. She is the message behind my social media campaigns. She also can, post for me and develop concepts, visuals, campaigns based on everything that, we talk about and what she feels is relevant. I always say she because she posts herself as a woman. Pulse is my social intelligence unit. So Pulse and Spark work together. Pulse will then do all of the research over what's trending right now, right? What's going on in social media, what's popular, what's becoming popular, what's not as popular. And it will show Spark exactly where our direction should be going so that she can then say, okay, here's the content that I would create based on what we have here, XYZ, and all that fun stuff, right? And then I have Scout, who's my opportunity explorer. Scout goes out and basically looks for potential markets, business opportunities, useful tools, emerging needs, and overlooked paths to growth. So his role is exploration. So he won't bring me back every shiny object he discovers. He will just bring back opportunities worthy of further investigation. Then I have Hunter, which is my lead intelligence specialist, which is basically designed to go out and find new lead strategies for us based on what the market is saying, what's going on in the market, what's happening in certain areas, what's happening in certain demographics, all those different types of things. I have Hunter that once deployed, he'll do all that research for me. So I don't have to do anything. And then I have Radar. Radar is market intelligence. So what he does is essentially what Hunter does, but it's looking more into our market conditions, really detailed. So it's looking at days on market, pricing behavior, inventory, local housing trends, and then he'll distinguish the verified information from assumptions, estimates, and outdated industry talking points. Hunter identifies the opportunity. Radar verifies whether that data supports pursuing it. Okay. And then we have, wait, sorry, this was in the way. Let me move that. There we go. And then we have Coach. Coach is the accountability commander. So coach is basically like my coach, right? And a powerful plan means nothing without consistent execution. I protect Lawrence's priorities, track commitments, confront avoidance, and help him recover when the day doesn't go according to plan. My job isn't perfection. My job is making sure one missed block difficult conversation or unexpected interruption doesn't become a lost day. So, based on what my day looks like, what I'm telling it of what's going on, what we did today, what we're working on, coach will then hold me accountable to say, okay, well, you didn't do this today. You didn't do that today. Hey, we need to, salvage the day and do this and do that and do that. So, it's cool to create these types of systems. And I want to show you how to create them. Okay. Because that's probably the most important part. I don't say all this to just impress upon you. I say all this to show you exactly what's possible here. Is everyone following along?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, what I mean by creating systems, right, that are repeatable, which are things that are like something like this, right, where I can say open house protocol, right? Now, once I say open house protocol, it's a trigger phrase for my system. And it's going to say open house protocol intake. Send me the property address, the date and time, property link, target audience, registration or contact link, available photographs, special property features, your primary goal for the event. And then I'm going to say, well, it's at let's use my current listing, 133 Timber Lane, Willenboro. Date and time, we're gonna do Saturday. What's Saturday's date? The 22nd. Saturday, 8/22 at 12 p.m. through 2 p.m. Right? And that's all I have for now. And I can say, I don't currently have any other info, right? Please create content. And I'm going to say that. That's all I have, right? That's all the information I got so far, right? I don't know all the other stuff. So now Radar is going to check the public listing details so the campaign stays accurate, right? And then all my other systems are going to start working in their individual spaces. So none of them overlap, right? So look, this is what it brought up. That's exactly what's going on with that property, right? It found the listing for me. Scroll stopping social posts. Here's my social media post that I can post for this. Here's a short form video script that I can use. Here's a text that I can send to people in order to come to the open house. Here's an email invitation that I can send out. Here's neighbor outreach that I can send out to neighbors, right? Or just make a poster or a flyer or something, right? Sign in qualification questions. It's going to make a sign out sheet for me. A buyer conversational guide, right? Same day follow up system, 3-day follow up system, right? It's telling me exactly what to do, right? Consumer resource, 5 questions before touring homes. What are you asking them? And then the day of action plan. Here's what to do. In the morning when you wake up by 10:30, you should confirm the MLS status, price, showing instructions, install directional signs by 11, record exterior arrival video at 11:30, walk the property and note 3 factual highlights by 11:45. 12 to 2, you should welcome, qualify, tour, and secure next step. 2:15, you categorize visitors. And by 5 o'clock, you send every attendee a personalized follow-up. That's your open house protocol system, right? That's repeatable, that you can use this every single time. You don't have to keep coming back in here and saying, hey, I have a new open house. Hey, I have a new open house. It's going to create everything for you as you go. Okay. So, with that being said, let's figure out how do we actually go about creating these systems, right? How do you do that? So, I'm going to start a new chat now that being my chat GPT is pretty much set up for me for, I've been using it for about 3 years now. So mine is pretty much set up. But as a new person, what you want to do is you want to give it a problem, right? I want to tell it, okay, somebody give me a problem. What do you got? What's a problem that you're having right now in your business? Oh, no one's having any problems?
Whether
That's good. The weather. I can't change the weather with AI. Give me a issue. How's your follow-up? How's your lead generation? How's your buyer presentation? How's your listing presentation? Someone give me a problem that they're having. It's
Let's
okay. We
start
all
with the lead generation.
lead generation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So let's say we're having a problem with lead generation, right? So I can say, first off, you want to, when you're using AI, it should know everything about you. So if it doesn't know your business and what you do, then it can't help you best. So the first thing you want to do when you're using this is to introduce yourself like you're talking to someone. So I can say, hey, I'm a real estate agent with 5 years of experience. Oh, that looks crazy. Experience, right? And I'm working on creating a better lead generation activities. Creating better lead generation activities. Can you help me find leads and create a system that will help me continuously, right? Because you don't want this as one-time thing. Continuously find leads. Question mark. Send. Now, it's going to say, it's going to do some work. It's going to think about it. It's going to take a second and say, well, what are you actually asking me to do? Right? And it's going to tell you, absolutely, let's build you a lead generation engine, not another random list of activities, right? So this isn't a random list, right? It's giving you four dependable lead channels. Your sphere of influence, homeowners that are showing intent, right? Expired and withdrawn listings, open house neighbors, absentee owners, and homeowners requesting local information, buyer opportunities, right? Local authority marketing, right? And then it's going to tell you, well, here's your weekly operating rhythm. On Monday, you're going to contact 20 past clients and Sphere members. Tuesday, you're going to work 20 expired, withdrawn, or older leads, right? It gives you your daily workflow. Now, every lead enters one system. Here's the cool part where the lead is captured, the source is recorded, motivation is identified, timeline is assigned, the follow up is scheduled, conversation tracked, appointment requested. Now, being that it knows you're creating a lead generation system, it's going to inadvertently create a follow up system for you as well at the same time. So now, when you say, okay, Monday, I've done my 20 past clients, send me a reminder of our follow-up system, or let's create that follow-up system. Why I feel that AI's follow-up system can become better than our follow-up system using command is because the thing about CRMs is that you actually have to go to them in order to see what's going on with your lead generation, right? Well, with AI, it can just send you a reminder to your phone and say, hey, call Barbara today. It's been 2 days since you last spoke to her. Hey, you have to reach out to this buyer that you told you were going to send out some properties. Hey, you have to send out to this person because you said you're going to do XYZ, right? And then it will just do that for you. Okay. And
So
you,
I have a question here,
sure.
Lauren. So when you say the AI will send the text or reminder to the phone, so do we have to connect them? We have to connect them somehow, right?
Well, no, it's not going to send it to your clients or your leads.
No,
It's
no,
going to
no,
send you.
our phone, right?
Well, so what you're doing is so you can download the ChatGPT app on your phone, right? And it'll send you reminders through that app that's connected on your phone. That's what I'm saying.
Understood.
Right. So that's the way that you would line that up so that you can get those types of reminders to your phone. And you can just say it to do that. Hey, create a reminder for me about our follow-up system. And then it will follow that system all the way through. And then all you have to do is just wait for your phone to go off, and that's your follow-up system. Then you come back and you update it. Okay, Monday, I did my 20 past clients and Sphere members, right? This is the end of Monday after I did my 20. Okay, Monday, I called my 20 past clients. Let's say you don't have any past clients. Say you just have Sphere members. Let's just say I called my 20 Sphere members already. What's the next step, right? And it's going to tell you. Well, here's what I would do with those 20 Sphere members. Good. I'm using your prior activity and leave system we just set up to next move builds on those 20 calls instead of restarting the process. So what it's saving is that system that you already said to it, right? It's going to now keep that system. Now it's going to tell you what to do with those people, right? Do this now. Sort the 20 people into connected, voicemail, no answer, follow-up opportunity, appointment or referral opportunity. Send a brief follow-up text, schedule every promised follow-up in your CRM, record your numbers, then move to your next lead source. It's not going to tell you, hey, stick to this lead source and just keep working that until you get anything out of it. It wants to keep you moving forward because that's how the system works, right? Is everyone following along this pretty good? Is this making sense?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Okay, good. Good. So now I want to show you, right? Once you create those systems, you then are able to are we still? Yes, we're still here. Okay. So then you're able to, like I said, you create your open house protocol. Then let's say you have a listing. So we can do a listing protocol, right? So just like your lead generation that you just set up, your system, that now becomes a protocol. So you can say to it, pull our lead generation protocol, right? And it will remember that. It remembers everything that you tell it to do. Okay. So this is our listing protocol. If I tell it I have a listing coming up, this is everything we need to go over in order to get that listing up and running, right? And Radar is also going to do separate verified facts from assumptions before we build the listing strategy to see exactly how we're going to go about doing this. Okay. And then you're going to answer and go through all of these questions, everything that it's saying, what do you think about the home? Once you do that, then it will generate similar to like this. It's going to generate all this stuff, right? Of everything about the house, how you could sell it, how you can market it, what the price should be. But it's also going to give you guardrails to say that you should definitely check the MLS for specific numbers because it's not an MLS, right? It doesn't. Oh, is my camera off? It doesn't even tell me. Oh, there we go. Um, So you want to make sure that what you're doing is creating systems. No longer are we just going on here, just asking it to do one thing at a time. Create a system around everything that you do so that you don't have to keep coming back here, asking it to do one thing at a time. It'll do everything for you if you ask it the right way. And not only the right way, but you want to ask it to ask you questions about what you want it to do, right? For example, if I wanted to, um, if I wanted to say, hey, I'm new to AI, but I want to create a system, but I want to create, let's keep it simple. I want to create a follow-up system that will help me, not jeopardize, help me stay top of mind with my, we'll keep it simple, with my sphere of influence, right? Can you help me? Right? And you're new to AI and you're just telling it very simple, very plainly what you need. And it's going to say, let's create a simple system, right? Based on your sphere. It's not going to give you too much. It's not going to give you everything. Now, it's also going to give you a prompt. AI prompt for every follow-up. Create warm, natural follow-up message for someone in my real estate sphere. Their name is XYZ. Our relationship is XYZ. We last discussed this topic. My goal was to reconnect without sounding salesy. Include a simple question that encourages a response, right? Because we're keeping it simple, what I told it was you're new to AI. So it's not going to give you this whole convoluted, complicated system. It's going to give you something very small, very manageable that you can do. Okay. The other thing is that a lot of people overlook is creating social media content from this. Okay. Which I can do. And you can also create the content plus the post at the same time, like the image, for example. Okay. So I can say, hey, I always say, hey, sorry, it's my thing because I'm always talking to G, so I always say, hey, G. I want to create a social media post with an image and caption that is something that a homeowner will find valuable. And then we wait, right? And while it's going to do some work, it's going to look at social media, it's going to say, absolutely. I'm using this image generation skill to create a polished homeowner focused graphic. Then I'll pair it with a ready to post caption and call to action. Okay. So now it's reading through the image generation skill. We're going to give it a second, let it do its thing, right? What's something that can take takes us 30, 40 minutes or an hour, AI can do it in a couple of minutes. But a lot of people use it and they get very impatient when they're waiting for it to do something. My thing is you're not doing it yourself, so go off and do something else while you're waiting, right? It's the best thing you can possibly do. So we're waiting for this to generate. We can then do other things, right? You can go on your other, go on your CRM, you can wait for it, and then you can come back to it. You can do a bunch of other things while you're waiting for this to generate, right? While we're waiting for this to generate, does anyone have any questions?
So, the way you create the radar and the other systems, right?
Mhm.
How you combine them together, and how you actually create them one by one.
I'm going to show you that too. One quick note here, when you say ChatGPT, remember everything discussed in before. What does that say? Hold on. One note here, when you say ChatGPT, remember everything discussed before. A user must ensure that the chat browsing history is not off on your device for privacy purposes. Very true. Very, very true. Most of the time, if you're using this on your laptop or your computer, those your chat browsing history is usually already connected and on. So it's not something you really have to go in and check for the most part anyway. Um, Unless you find that it's not remembering your systems and you want to go double check and make sure that everything's going on. So here's our post, right? Here's our post. And then here's what we can do. It already knows me, right? So it has my information. That's why it populated that way. So don't think that, how does it know you so well? Because it knows I've been doing this for a while with it. So it knows exactly who I am, what I do, my phone number, all that stuff. So it can create content based on what it already knows about me, which is why I said when you're going in and you're using it, you want to make sure you tell it everything about you so that when it's creating content, it can do everything for you, right? Lawrence Majette, Realtor, Keller Williams, Cornerstone. Here's my phone number. It knows that about me already. So it can add all that into the content for me. Okay. Everyone followed that one along too?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, if we're talking about how do we create these systems? Well, there's two ways to create these systems. The first way is to go to more, go to GPTs. Let me move that over. And you can create a GPT, right? You can name it, you can describe it, you can do all that stuff. But here's the thing. You don't know what you actually need a GPT for, right? So when I created my GPTs, I didn't actually create them. I asked ChatGPT to create a GPT for me, right? based on what we were doing and what I kept noticing things were going wrong with. So that's why I ended up creating these GPTs. And all I said to it was, hey, sorry, I keep saying hey. Hey, I want to create a GPT that will be responsible for my follow-up system. Can you give me a prompt to post in the GPT creator to make one? So now we wait. So now it's going to say, okay, cool. Yes, I'll turn that follow-up system we just outlined into a copy and paste GPT creator prompt. It's using the OpenAI guidance skills, so the instructions are structured correctly for a reliable custom GPT, right? So we're going to wait a second, let it search, let it do its thing, let it figure out what would be the best way to do this, what would be the best prompt that will get us the best result for what we needed to do. So here it is. Here's our prompt. It's going to tell you what you can name it, right? Here's what you put in the description, the primary user, primary market, right? Here's your mission. Here's everything. It's still typing. See, still going, all that stuff. So you would never be able to create all of these, right? Guidelines and protocols and guardrails and all this stuff, right? Yourself. So use ChatGPT to do a lot of this for you. Okay. It can open and configure this and confirm, these full instructions were retained and do it all this for you, right? So there's one way I can do this, right? Which is to just copy and paste. So I'm going to call it Sphere, my real estate follow-up, right? So I'm going to copy, so now I'm going to go in and let's copy this. So little by little, we're going to create this. So you can copy this full thing into like a note or somewhere else so that it's more easier for you to kind of go back and forth when you're creating the GPT, so that it doesn't pop up on like, you have a separate screen available for this, because it's going to take you all the way over here. And then you have to go back and forth between this and the other page, and it gets kind of scrambled. So we're going to put the put the description there. It's going to tell me it's too long, right? It's way too long. And that's okay, because now we can go back and say, right? We're going to go back to our follow-up system and we're going to say, make sure that the character count fits within the parameters set by the GPT, set by the GPT creator. Okay. Oh, if I can spell this morning, GPT creator, right? And we're going to do that again. So now it can run another one and say, okay, let me make this a little bit shorter so that, I can, you can do all this, right? You can copy and paste. It's supposed to be where it is, right? And you would think that, hey, shouldn't it know that already? Well, it gets very excited sometimes and it kind of overworks itself every now and then. So it's your job to have that human interaction to reel it all back in, right? To say that, hey, okay, this isn't working because I tried to use it this way. And now, I can't move on to the next thing that I need to do. So let me, do this way. Let me come back and say, hey, I need you to fix this so that I can move on. Okay. So now it's going to verify the GPT creator field limit. It's going to go look at it itself and then compress everything in smaller so that you're able to create that GPT with no issue now, right? Everyone following along so far? Yes, no, maybe so. Cool. I got thumbs up. Okay. I'll take the
Yeah,
thumbs up.
the paid version, right?
Yes, this is through the paid version. So you can also access this through the free version as well, but it's very limited. Like very limited. You can create a GPT through the free version, but for the most part, it's you can only do but so much with it. And then you also have a certain amount of credits that you get in order to use it, for what you need it for. Okay.
Right.
So the revised instructions are, yep, all this is safe. All this is good to go, right? You are a sphere, relationship, and follow up, right? It just made everything smaller, right? Good. That's exactly what we need. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just go back in and we're going to copy and paste all of this into the GPT creator where you can name it, you can describe it, you can add the instructions, conversation starters, everything that's going to tell you to do for it. Then, when you want to pull that GPT into another chat, for example, right? You can say, you can say, hey, hey, I'm going to use one of my GPTs, for example. Hey, Tron, can you join this chat? There you go. So while Tron is here, he's also going to review everything that I'm doing because that's his job. So now Tron is in here. He's looking at what we just created, and he's saying that I reviewed Sphere. The concept is aligned, practical, relationship centered, and designed to create consistent action. My standing order: Sphere must strengthen Lawrence's real relationships, not replace them with robotic automation. Does everyone catch that?
Yeah.
You get that? Right? We're not looking for robotic automation with AI. You never want it to fully automate everything that you do, or else you're no longer valuable. They don't need you anymore, right? If real estate can be 100% automated, then they don't need real estate agents, right? So, your point of this is to create a system that you follow, but also keeps you authentic to what you're doing. So it's not about using AI. Excuse me. It's not about using AI to make your life, so much easier and automate all these things that we go through every day. The point is to create systems that create consistency in your business, right? That's way more important than automating your emails, right? Or automating your follow-up schedule. It's way more important to create systems that are in place that helps you push the needle further. Does everyone get that? No? No one gets that? Cool. I'll take the thumbs up. Thank you. Okay. So we now went through ChatGPT. I showed you how you can create systems, how you should create systems, what you need to do to save yourself some time, so that you're not using ChatGPT once a day. Oh, do this email. Oh, write this text for me. Oh, come up with this content for me, right? Create systems within it so that it does all that for you. Tell it exactly what you need, right? Have a heart to heart with it. Two things people hate doing when it comes to AI. Number one, typing. People want to use the voice program and they want to talk to it and all that stuff like that. And the second thing people hate when it comes to AI is reading. Two of those things you must do in order to use it at a high level. The voice chat doesn't give you, it's going to soothe your wounds. It's not going to give you the true cure to help you get over it, right? And how to get past it. It's just going to give you a band-aid and say, "Oh, here's your little boo-boo. Let me kiss that for you." It's not going to give you the true harsh truth of what you're doing. And you want to set guidelines so that your AI isn't doing that. So when you're introducing yourself, you're also going to give it a negative introduction, which is to say, be harsh with me, tell me the truth at all times. Do not inflate the truth or inflate anything that you think to make me feel better or to sound good or to anything like that. You want it to model someone that's going to be the realest person you know, right? so that it can hold you accountable for everything that you're doing. Okay? Everyone got that?
Lawrence,
Cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
So when you said open house protocol, did
Mhm.
you save it as that in some place, or is that a separate GPT?
So when I say, so let me go back to that real fast. So when I say open house protocol, listing protocol, right? So this is an open house system. I don't want to say system, but we were talking on here. I don't know why it's blank right now. It'll come back up. But we were talking about an open house that I had coming up, right? And I was doing all this stuff. I was creating content. I was doing all this stuff for it. And I was like, you know what? This should be a repeatable system that we use for all of our open houses. So I told it after we were done and we did everything, I said, save this whole workflow, right? And my trigger phrase for it is going to be open house protocol. So
Oh,
whenever I say open house protocol, I want you to pull up all this information. Okay. And that's what it did.
okay.
And that's what it did. So same thing with the listing, right? I had a listing. We were talking it out. We're going through the motions. We went through all of the stuff. And again, I said, save this workflow. My trigger phrase is going to be listing protocol. Same thing with the buyer. Hey, help me find some properties that we're looking for. It's asking me questions to ask the buyer. It's giving me all this stuff. And again, I'm going to say, save this workflow. My trigger phrase is buyer protocol. That's
Hmm.
all I'm doing.
Okay.
So this isn't a separate thing that you have to do. It's you working within whatever chat that you have, right? So all these chats that I have on the side here, right? With any one of these chats, I can go in, right? Let's say my fantasy football league is coming up soon, right? I was doing some research on, I always use it for that. So I can say now, because I do it almost every year, I can say save this workflow, right? As NFL fantasy protocol, right? And it's going to save this. So now when I say that, it can trigger it and say, hey, hey, we're doing it again. Let's see how this whole thing works, right? And it can run that for me as well. So any one of your workflows or anything that you're talking about or anything going through, you can ask it to save that workflow for you so that you can come back to it later and then keep it as a protocol in its files. Okay.
Okay. So are you able to look at all your saved protocols?
Not necessarily,
Okay.
because they're gonna be kind of scattered. But if you
Okay.
go to your um, wait, I can't see it on here. I need to be on my laptop for that. But if you go to your no, so you can like if you go to archive,
Hmm.
you can see all of your. I have that already. You can see all of your. Where'd it go? Okay, I have to do that for my laptop. Sorry, I'm on my MacBook right now. It doesn't let me see that
Okay,
for whatever
that's okay.
reason. Um, but for the most part, yes, you are able to go back and see all of your stuff. If you go through the internet, like the website version,
Hmm.
you're able to see more of this, where you can go
Okay.
into your settings, you can see all your reminders, you can see everything that you have set up within it. Okay.
Oh,
You
okay.
can also go on there and go into your settings and tell it all about yourself so that it remembers you,
Hmm.
right? Being that I've used my ChatGPT for so many years, it knows everything about me already without me going to the settings. Because when I started using ChatGPT, that wasn't an option. None
Hmm.
of this was an option. I was creating GPTs before there were GPTs. I didn't know what they were
Okay.
called. I was already just creating them based on what I needed in my business. And I wanted something that was like, an overseer to everything that I was doing to make sure that I wasn't like, falling down a rabbit hole. I'm bad with rabbit holes. So everyone got this so far or cool with this? We all understand? Can I get a
Yes,
round of
yes.
yeses? Yeses, yes, 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 yes. Hearts, thumbs up. Got it. Okay. Now let's talk about something fun. Okay. I want to go into Canva. Okay. So when we're talking about creating content, okay, in a quick, fast way, you all as KW agents have access to a Canva, to a paid Canva subscription. Okay. through command. If you go to command and you go to, I think it's under the designs tab, you'll see a button that says create with Canva. You push that, it's going to take you into Canva where you have full access once you log in. Okay. Now, why I bring you to Canva is because Canva, this is what it looks like when you first log in. It's going to take you here to the KW. Canva is here and it's built just for you. Ask, all that stuff like that. But I want to go into Canva AI, right? Because I don't want to do anything myself, right? So with that being said, let's say, for example, I want to say, hey, create a premium modern looking listing presentation template. Why do I say template? Somebody asked me, why am I saying template?
It's a pre-design over there in a Canva.
Good, close. I'm using template so that this is a repeatable presentation. So that all I have to do is go in and change a few things every now and then, right? Where it's not something that's like a one-off. That's why I'm not going to add an address to this. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I can add that stuff later, right? And I'm going to say leave space to add um to add so you know what, we don't need to do that part because it's going to do that automatically because it's a template, right? So that's all I'm going to say to it, and I'm going to press enter and we're going to give it a second. Well, where'd it go? We're going to press design. Why is this not working now? Always when you want to show someone something, right? Okay, why is this not working now? Okay, anyway, skipping ahead, I want to show you what that looks like anyway. So where's one that I created? I think it's this one.
Can we do this on our Canva, what we have been provided?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you can totally do this on your Canva. Because you have Canva AI as well. So it's going to be on your left-hand side in your sidebar. It's going to be right here where it says Canva AI, and then you're able to go on and create whatever you want. So, okay, here's for example, here was a presentation I created for social media strategies for real estate agents. Mind you, I didn't put any of this information here. It just created it all itself, okay? And that's what it's going to do. But I want to show you the listing presentation because it looks more premium. It has more stuff going on, you know, all the fun stuff, but it's not letting me, it's not working for me right now for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not working. But usually it works. I will say that, okay? Most of the time, it still works fine without any problems whatsoever. But today it seems like it's just on a little TANF. So let's see if I restart it, see if that helps. There we go. Now it's loaded. Okay, here we go. So if I went to Canva AI, we're going to try this again. Can you create, create a listing, premium. Always make sure you put premium, modern looking, whatever you want it to look like, because you want it to look like something. You don't want just some boring listing presentation, right? Modern looking listing presentation template. See, it remembers what I wrote already. Now we can do it. So now it's thinking. It's going to create. So now it's going to ask some questions. It's going to tell you what it's doing. Now we just sit back and wait and hang out and do something else. Task completed. I'll create one. So once it creates it here, it's going to move you automatically into Canva's editing page. First, it's going to run through each page and tell you exactly what's going to be on each page, right? And you're going to say, okay, this looks good. Is this everything that I want it to be? Right? Do I want to add any other additional pages? Do I think it should, you know, we should add more? Or is it good to go? I would say it's good to go. So we're going to generate the design, and we're going to wait a second. So it's going to create the full presentation for us. It's going to gather some ideas and give us, what are we actually looking for as far as design elements go. Sometimes it asks you for your opinion. Sometimes it doesn't care about your opinion. But it is going to do all of the work for you, and then you're able to go in and edit it any way that you want. Okay. So we'll wait. We'll let it finalize the design. Remember, it is creating like 14 pages or 14 slides, I should say, from scratch. So it's definitely going to take a second. Okay. So give it a minute. Don't rush it. Be patient. And here we go. Here is our premium listing presentation. Now I'm going to click that. It's going to take me over to here. So now, every time I have a listing presentation, I can just use this template. It tells you all about me. Well, it made me an Asian guy, but that's okay because I can always switch out that picture, right? It knows all about me already, right? Someone asked me, how does it know I'm a productivity coach with Keller Williams Realty? How does it know all that stuff? Serving Burlington, Boundbrook, Edison, Mays Landing. It's only going based off of places that I actually sold properties at. Brings deep local market expertise, right? This is awesome, right? Tells you about the market, right? What's going on in Somerset County, because most of my listings I typically, well, try to stay in Somerset County, I should say. And you can go and edit any of this information. Pricing strategy for success. You might want to make some of these a little bit bigger when it comes to, your font sizes and things. Digital marketing and social outreach, right? How you use social media to market homes, your open house strategy, your communication updates, right? All your stuff, everything that you need to use this for is right here. So what I can do is I can send this to a seller before I even get there so they can learn about me, right? They can learn about my process, how I help them, what I do with them, all that stuff like that. And I can send this out before we even get to the property. And then if there's some things I want to change, I can just click on them. Hey, I want to get rid of this Elec Luxor Reel back there. I don't know what that is, right? So I'm going to move that filter out of the way. Try to get back there, right? But you may have to do a little work with Canva to kind of, clean some of this stuff up, right? Which is no big deal. Because you can also ask Canva AI within this chat to help you fix those, which is right over here, right? Describe your idea. So now I can say, hey, on the first slide, there's elect, Luxor, real in the back or some other words. Can you get rid of that for me? And it'll take it out. Okay? Everyone cool with this? Any questions, comments, concerns? Can I get a few ahas? Were there any aha moments today that were like, wow, that's, actually impressive? What do you guys got?
It is impressive, but I tried doing once. I couldn't do it properly. I don't know why. I'll try one more time.
Well, keep in mind that when you're first starting to use AI, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, right? But what you want to do is you want to ask it to help you. So for example, if I was going to create a presentation like this using the Canva AI, I can go to ChatGPT and I can say something like, I can say, hey, sorry, I say hey a lot. Hey, I'm using the Canva AI to create a listing presentation.
You have to go through Chat GTP to go to the Canva. You can directly go to Canva.
No,
Right.
no, you can, no, see, that's separate. Canva's in a separate app for me.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can go through Canva. But you can go through Canva through ChatGPT as well because there's a Canva GPT.
Okay.
So you can go straight from here as well, whichever one. But because you have a paid Canva account, it's better to go through Canva itself because this isn't going to take you through your paid account. It's just going to take you through Canva, period. It's going to ask you to sign in and all that stuff like that. But you can do the same thing just by going through that account, which I feel is a little bit better to do it directly on Canva because sometimes the Canva GPT and Canva don't understand each other well enough to get your point of what you want it to do. right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you. Thank
Okay.
you.
So I'm going to say I'm using the Canva AI to create a listing presentation. Can you give me a prompt to use? And that's it. That's all I'm going to ask it for is a prompt to use in order to do that. And it's going to say, okay, I'll tailor it to your premium practical style. Make sure Canva avoids the generic same old listing presentation look, right? And here we go. It's going to make every slide what it wants it to look like, what it should start with, how it should go, all that fun stuff. Right? This is your full, and don't worry about the character size because the AI in Canva can take whatever prompt size that you give it. Okay. There is no there is no limit on characters there. Okay. So now I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back into Canva, right? I'm going to go back to Canva AI. Well, I have to go home first. Then I'm going to go into Canva AI. Get this out of here. I'm going to start a new chat and I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste that whole thing. Okay. Whole thing's here. And then we're going to let it do its job. Okay. We're not going to do anything. We're going to wait around. We're going to let it do its thing. Okay. Once that's done, it's going to create the full listing presentation that we're looking for. Okay. And now we have a template. We have something we can use, or we can make a custom one if you want to make this more custom to a specific property or specific seller or specific needs and things like that. So again, it's going to go through the same process that it did before, which is tell us about all the pages, right? Everything that it's going to create, why me, right? All that good stuff. Next steps, everything. So now we're going to generate the design again. Now, this is also good for any type of marketing material that you can think of. So if you wanted to create flyers for like, home maintenance or property value tips, how to increase home value, things like that. Infographics about the septic system or wells or whatever you can think of, you can do the same exact thing here within between ChatGPT and Canva. Okay? Everyone get that so far? We're good? Any questions, comments, concerns?
Lawrence, I have one question.
Uh-huh.
So let's say I have an open house and I want to create some printable material or something for that particular open house.
hmm
So how do we put the address or MLS listing? What we can add here to get the particular house information and pictures and everything?
So if you have the pictures, let's say you already have the pictures of the property and you already have your MLS description, what you can do is, here, I'll show you what that real fast. So if I was to create an open house just from scratch, I would go to a new chat. I would upload a copy of the MLS, right?
Mhm.
So that it can have all the information about the home. Secondly, I would upload any pictures I have about the property, right? Right into here.
Mhm.
And then I would say, hey, create an open house flyer based on all the information I just gave you. Now, you can create those right here. You don't have to actually go to Canva to create, all of your content. ChatGPT can create all of that as well. The difference is it's easier to edit anything that's wrong in Canva. ChatGPT doesn't really give you too many because it's not built for that, which is to go out and edit, images itself. All it's going to do is recreate another image for you until you tell it to fix it, fix this, fix that, fix this, fix that. On Canva, you have the option to fix it yourself. If that helps.
Mhm.
That's the biggest difference here. So the way I would create an open house flyer would be, like I said, upload a copy of the MLS straight to here, upload any pictures that you have of the property, and then tell it to create an open house flyer for you based on what you just gave it.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Sure.
You do this on Canva directly, right?
Yes, you can do this on Canva directly, or you can do this directly on ChatGPT.
Okay. Thank you.
So in the Canva AI, you can also upload files as well, right? You can upload whatever you got, right? You can choose from your files, you can choose from your pictures, you can upload whatever you have there to give it some more information so that it can help you. Okay? Last thing I want to just show you guys real quick are your plugins. So if you don't have your Gmail set up to this, I would say set this up. Why? Because ChatGPT can read your mail. Now, that sounds scary, right? Well, what you wanted to do is to go through your emails and find any opportunities that you may have missed or not gotten to. Or maybe someone emailed you and they were, thinking of selling their home and you never saw the email, right? So you can say to ChatGPT, search my Gmail account for any listing, buyer, seller opportunities that you may find available. Come back to me with those specific email addresses so that I can send out an email to them. Also, draft and create email drafts that I can then post to those people that can help me, with, setting all that stuff up, right? Like, help me with following up with those people, staying top of mind with them, giving them something of value, right? You want to make sure that, you're using these in the best possible way. So you can connect your Gmail, your Google Drive, your Google Calendar. It can set up and make appointments for you, right? Your Outlook calendar. You want to connect Canva to this, right? Which I already have the Canva GPT, but you can connect your Canva account to this as well, okay? So that it can go through your paid version. You can also do things like set up some of these data analytics that are here that'll help you look at the market a little bit better and tell you exactly what's going on, right? There's all types of plugins and things like that that you can learn, right? And there's also skills. So you can create skills within ChatGPT. For example, if I wanted to be better at building relationships, well, that's a skill. And I can say, hey, I want to be better at building relationships. It's going to give me a full specific work to go around to start building those skills. What training I need? How do I go about doing this? What do I need to say? What do I need to work on? It's going to do all that with you. So it helps you become better. Okay. So the key thing to this is you want to keep in mind that you want to create systems. You want to use this smart and not like you're using Google just for like one-offs. You want to create protocols within it. You want to use the AI to help and make your life simpler. But at the same time, you have to learn how to use it. Okay. So I implore all of you to take some training, look at some different things, follow some people that are using AI in unique ways and do what they do. Emulation is probably the biggest way that you're going to learn this the fastest, is if you see someone do something and you're like, oh, that's a really good idea. And then you just do what they did. It's very simple. Okay? Everyone good with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Thanks, Lawrence.
Lawrence, I have another question.
Sure.
So, which AI version is better, like ChatGPT, Copilot, and there is one in our command also.
Hmm.
So,
So,
which one? Yeah,
so it
because
depends.
this ChatGPT is the paid version, right?
Yes.
And with the
Uh,
Google, we are getting the free version as well.
yes, you have a prepaid version to Gemini.
Yeah.
So here's how you want to look at AI platforms. You want to think about what they're best at, right? And how you can use them. For example, ChatGPT is one of the best when it comes to content writing, with social media, with creating apps, and having all these connections, right? All the plugins, and the fact that you can create GPTs. Claude is really good when it comes to creating things like full websites, landing pages, a whole app that you can then sell and put on the App Store, and all types of things involving coding. Perplexity is really good when it comes to deep research. So if you wanted to learn anything about specific markets or things like that, Perplexity is really, really good with deep research and just finding out up to the second data, okay? Because it's only looking for the most pertinent information. Then you have Copilot. Copilot is good if you're using Microsoft products. So if you're using Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word, all the Microsoft programs, Copilot is really good because it speaks to all of them, and you can do things based off of just using Copilot. Then you have Gemini. Gemini is really good when it comes to video and image creation because they have Nano Banana, which is one of the best generative video generators on the market beside Runway and Dance, and there's a bunch of other ones, VO 2.8. It's a lot of them. So you want to think about, when you think about AI, you want to think about what's the best one to use for what I need it for. ChatGPT to me is the most user friendly, which is why I use it so often. I do use the other ones, right? And I also have a guardrail in my ChatGPT that says if you can't do something, tell me to use another AI platform. Like if it can't build a website, tell me to use Claude. If you can't do this research, tell me to use Perplexity, right? That's how I have mine set up so that it does that. But when you're first getting started, don't try to, go to each and every platform. Choose one and stick with it. I would say ChatGPT because it's best for beginners that are just getting into AI. And you can ask it questions to help you learn AI better. For example, if I was new to AI, I'm going to say, hey, I'm new. Sorry, I say hey a lot because I'm always saying hey, G. I'm new to AI. How are some ways you can help me with my business? And then tell it what you do. Tell it exactly what you do, introduce yourself, how long you've been in the business, what your current pipeline looks like, what your goals are, what trainings you're doing, all that stuff. And then it will build systems to help you based around what you tell it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, comments, concerns? I can do this literally all day. This is what I love.
Lawrence,
Uh-huh.
great job, brother.
Thank you.
Um, what days are you in the office? Because it probably speaking for myself, but also there's probably 27 people on the call, and maybe they are very afraid to asking the question. Well, he looks very intimidating, that beard and the glasses and the way that he speaks and everything else. You guys can go to the office and speak to this guy. I have spent plenty of times with him on the computer and plenty of times with him in the office. He is, one of those teddy bears that he looks really scary, but he's a really nice guy, and
Can't stand you.
he can help you, doing all this. What days are you in the office that people can just go in and pick up your brain for an hour or two that is not actually disturbing your everyday work of finding more information for yourself?
I'm in the office every day, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Feel free to shoot me a text or give me a phone call when you want to come in, and I'll put some time aside so that we can meet and go through some of this or all of this, whichever you like to do. Thank you, Alfredo.
Sorry that I just committed you to 27 more people to bother you in the office.
All good. I can literally sit here and talk about this all day, every day. I'm actually working on a lot, but I won't bore you with all of that stuff. It's crazy. It gets very crazy. Okay.
The other thing before you go is, guys, because his time is very valuable, although he is there for help us as well, just try to do a little bit of your other work, yourself at home, and get into the frustration at home and bring some of the questions that you have to him, because he's very good at what he does and will answer the question. But just do at least the primary process of starting getting into this, and then when you get really stuck, then you can just go and get this help from him because he's really amazing.
Thank you, Alfredo. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I vouch that. Yes, I had good help from Lawrence always.
Thank you. Thank you all. I really appreciate that. So, like I said, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text whenever you want to put some time to side, and you can come into the office and we can sit here and go through everything. But I hope you all got a lot out of this. I put this together to make sure that we weren't doing just another generic AI class. I want you guys to actually start using this, learning it, and implementing it into your businesses. Okay? So my challenge and homework for all of you over the weekend is to get on AI and start using it. Okay? All weekend, starting today, all weekend. Your job is by Monday, you should have an open house protocol put together. You should have some type of system put together within AI. Can everyone do that? I need everyone to unmute and say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Woo!
Hey, Lawrence, ChatGPT is not going to give you it's not going to give you the leads. Yeah, yeah. I don't want people to get this confused with, oh, now I'm
Yes.
just going to jump into ChatGPT and all of a sudden I'm just going to have 100 buyers and 100 listers at my door waiting.
Right. You still have to do the work, okay? AI is there to make life a little bit easier, but you still must do the work, okay? Good point, Alfredo. Thank you. All right, guys. I really appreciate you all. Thank you all for coming. I hope this was very valuable for you. And I look forward to hearing from all of you when you have some questions for me, okay? I love questions. I love to talk about this. I can literally do this all day, okay? So feel free to reach out to me, okay?
Thank you, Lawrence, for the wonderful presentation. Lawrence, I
You're
missed
welcome.
7-10 minutes in the beginning. Can we get the recording for this video?
Yes, I did record it, and I'm going to post that to our YouTube channel shortly after we get off the call.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, guys. You all have a
Have a
great
nice
weekend.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye.